Hey everyone, Pupsker here, and today in Warframe we're having a Duviri Paradox review. We're going to go over the quest, the Duviri Experience gameplay after the quest, the circuit, and then just the generals around the Duviri Paradox update. I'll try to throw in the Duviri Paradox video music in the background, as it's the orchestral music you hear around Duviri, and it sounds very beautiful. So hey, the atmosphere, music, environment of Duviri is amazing. So without a doubt, I'll get it started just saying that's a 10 out of 10, right? They always do the generals of areas and new player kind of experiences really fun, really well, and it's just majestic AF. Because you have to remember, the Duviri Paradox is a new player environment where brand new players can play the game. So we definitely have to think of it from that perspective. A new player jumping into Warframe, looking at Duviri Paradox, would probably think, the area, it's beautiful, it looks really nice, the environment is great, it has an amazing ambiance with the sound, the music, the enemies, the overall area and environmentals, 10 out of 10, right? It's amazing. So that's what I'm gonna start off with, and now we'll just go over the generals of, first off, the quest. The Duviri Paradox quest was about 2 hours or so long. It took me, I think, 2 hours, 5 minutes, right? So pretty much 2 hours, considering I probably got coffee, warmed up coffee, played with my dog, etc., etc. It's about a 2-hour quest. Now, this quest is both a new player tutorial quest on just how to play the game, as well as a new player tutorial quest for Duviri Paradox that everyone kind of needs. Other than that, the story part of it gives you the nice Duviri tale of what actually happened in this paradox, right? What happened? What's going on? What are drifters? Well, you'll have to find out. I don't want to get too spoilery or talk about any specifics, even though I'm played the game for 8 years, what have you. I don't want to spoil it for any new players, so we're not going to get into the specifics of the story, but it's a casual 2-hour story. If players are veterans of the game, they're probably kind of used to that kind of thing from Warframe. A more casual story, but it's there, you beat it, and it gives us some insight into what's going on. So if you're more of a veteran player, by the end of Duviri Paradox, you were probably like, oh, so that's what's going on here. You kind of got it, probably kind of not, depending on how much attention you paid. But if you're a new player, you're probably like, WTF, mate, and that's kind of how it's supposed to go. The Warframe story is very confusing, convoluted, and weird, and since this is a new Paradox starting point, like with a lot of Warframe, you're not going to get a lot of answers until later, and a lot of things are going to be very, very confusing. So hey, that's the Duviri Paradox quest. I liked it. It had some good boss fights, some good just general gameplay elements, story elements, and cutscenes. So all in all, it was good. Not perfect, maybe 8 out of 10 if you will. Could be better, could be 9, could be 10 if it was, a little better, longer. Maybe had some more gameplay, less just going through every single cycle of Duviri, but it was still definitely a good quest and a good intro for Duviri. But if you're an endgame player, it was probably lacking, as do most quests. In the difficulty department, it was more of a casual run through, but definitely it was more of a new player experience quest, so there is that. Once you're done the main quest, you can either just, if you're a new player or a continuing on player, continue on running around in the Duviri Experience, or right after, you can jump right into Vor's quest, which is the usual, more regular Warframe starting quest, and from there, new players can get their experience of the full game and everything it has to offer over time. It's a weird game, 10-year-old MMO, so that's just kind of how that is. But if you continue in the Duviri Experience / the lone story, you'll get to continue that Warframe Duviri Paradox cycle. You go into the little Teshin cave, you get to choose your random weapons and Warframes. If you're a new player, this will be very confusing. You'll have no idea what any weapons are or good, etc., and that's just kind of fine. That's how it should be. Test things out, try things out, you'll find out things you'll like. And then from there, you have the general open world or lone story experience. For the lone story, it's just running through the 6 stages of the fight until you go fight a boss, right? 6 stages, I should say, of like the quest objectives until you fight the aura worm boss. That's the general rotation of the lone story. There's no side objectives. You can go around, collect some like side environment loot, but that's about it. No extra intrinsics and decrees thrown around. So if you just want to farm the aura worm, get those pathos clamps type thing, go run the lone story. It's a nice casual experience and it gets you through it a little faster. So I imagine people who just want to casually run it, don't want to have people running to the side doing weird objectives, they'll enjoy the lone story. For the most part, it's not that bad, not that buggy. It works the way it should. It reruns through the generals of a Duviri Paradox emotion cycle. Takes about 20-30 minutes. Well, 20 minutes, I should say, depending on how fast everyone is. Could take longer, could take shorter, depending, right? But I think 20 or so minutes at the max, around there, should be good. So that's nice, and it works decently well. It's not super buggy, and the main objective there is to just go through it to kill the aura worm, so people are kind of jumping out regularly. So yeah, that's actually the most complete functional game mode that they have. Then you have the proper Duviri experience. It's nice and it's fun and it's good for farming and getting resources, but it's too buggy right now. Right now, the Duviri experience is decent because you run in, you go around, collect loot, you go around, do a bunch of side objectives, get your decrees, get your intrinsics, level up, collect loot, explore, and get very strong with even more decrees, right? That's a pretty good gameplay cycle, all things considered. But it has too many issues with it either crashing, not giving loot, or just being downright a pain and laggy, who knows, right? It's all over the place, depending. A lot of people, though, it's working fine and working decently well. For me, I'm not having a ton of issues. I'm usually host, and it seems to be working well like 90-95% of the time. Other people, maybe they're on less stable connections, trying to do public matches. Maybe they're on a weaker console or weaker system. They might get kicked, they might get lagged, they might get booted. So definitely it is a problem for those with either weaker connections or those with older consoles, as well as those who are just like unlucky, right? So that's the Duviri experience. It is a lot of fun, and I very much enjoy the generals of it and the actual gameplay. Riding around your horse, drifter combat, melee, getting hella strong with decrees, checking out your Warframe and seeing how strong they get in the Undercroft after, and then killing the aura worm. It's seemingly getting less buggy now that we're on hotfix 5 or 6 for the Duviri Paradox. I'm just saying 5 or 6 because the last one I saw was 5, but they could be up to 6 by now. They're doing a handful a week, so yeah, it's getting there, and it would probably be like a 9 out of 10 fun, chill Warframe good experience for some people. But others, they might not like it because Warframe drifter combat, slower melee combat, right? It might, they might not like it, and that's fair. I made a video saying Warframe would slow down combat-wise, and you know what? It kind of did, but kind of didn't, because with the decrees, you can also go so supersonic fast that honestly, yeah, Warframe combat maybe have slowed down a bit with the drifter, but at the same time, not a ton. So, hey, it is what it is. It slowed down, but it didn't. Luckily, I think people, for the most part, enjoy the Duviri experience. They're just not enjoying the bug experience. The Duviri bugs are what's killing the experience for them. So that is the Duviri experience. Flying around, there's a lot of side objectives, quest type objectives, farming, loot, bows, resources, so I like the Duviri experience. The circuit is actually great for new players and veteran players alike. This is like your proper Warframe type experience where you just play a Warframe and with weapons and an operator, right? It's regular Warframe gameplay mode. Difference is, in this gameplay mode, you get random Warframes and weapons. If you haven't modded them before, well, it'll auto-assign mods, so you'll get a chance to use it. It's really good for new players, because in the circuit, regular mode, you can farm up 1 Warframe a week. There is a set schedule and set rotation. You can check the patch notes, but they only released up to the first 3 rotations, so 9 regular Warframe possible to farm so far that we are aware of. Great for new players. They can experience new Warframes, try out new weapons. It may be confusing, but hey, that's Warframe, baby. They can definitely resource grind outside of the Duviri experience, because the Duviri experience is good for farming items and stuff, but it's not good for farming out of Duviri Experience resources. So you do want to go to the regular Warframe gameplay mode, not the circuit, in order to build and get items for foundry requirements, warframes, and weapons. So you do also want to play regular Warframe. You cannot sustain an account on just the Duviri Experience. You can get a handful of items and weapons and maybe a handful of Warframes, but yeah, the regular item outside of Duviri Paradox grind is not really that good in Duviri. So Duviri, you mainly will just get Duviri resources, so you still need to do star chart farming for regular star chart resources. Unlike other open worlds where they have more of a variety of drops, Duviri has just like Duviri type drops, so keep that in mind. But the circuit's great. Older players alike can get to level 9999 a lot faster. If you're running Steel Path, you can get a ton of your focus really fast. Focus farming in the circuit is insanely good. Even regular circuit's probably really good. But hey, we can get incarnate adapters for really strong old weapons, and I am a-okay with that. So seems like the circuit where a lot of the farm is going, because it's a weekly repeatable type farm for both new players and old players, so that's where a lot of returning time is going to be spent, at least once people farm up a lot of the Duviri Experience items, resources, and get all of the weapons. That being said, incarnate adapters from Duviri require Duviri Paradox resources in order to equip them onto your weapons. It's like 20 Pathos clamps and then a handful of open world resources. So you're never truly going to be done farming the Duviri Experience if you continually farm the circuit. So hey, it's a repeatable weekly content cycle. Maybe you'll like that, maybe you'll hate it. I'll probably skip out on certain weeks of incarnate weapons if I'm too busy. You know, week of TennoCon, I'll probably be way too busy to grind that up, but it is what it is. So there is some FOMO, but at least there's more things to farm up, more items to test out. And for a lot of epic build crafters and level 9999 players, this circuit seems to be right up their alley. You can go with your random Warframes and do cool builds. It's less easy to do very specific Warframe / build videos. You just have to cycle through the Warframes a lot, and that's not really fun. But yeah, there's a lot you can do in the circuit. I'll probably make a handful of videos. Maybe on stream we'll casually do a level 9999 run. I still don't have all my all my focus trees leveled up for my operator anyways, so I'm still not able to do it properly solo, but hey, it is what it is. I'm more of a casual player and always have been, so yeah. Now, was the update good? Was the update bad? Overall, I think it was a good update once they got some of those hot fixes out, and it'll definitely be a great update once all of the bug fixes are out. Probably a 7 out of 10 update on release on update because of all of the issues and bugs. If it was ironed out, probably would have been an 8 to 9 out of 10. So yeah, take that what you will. I had a lot of fun with the gameplay. I had a lot of fun with the story. Could be longer, but doesn't need to be. And in general, yeah, I had fun, and I will be returning to Duviri a lot. That's probably why you'll see me be streaming more on Twitch, streaming more on YouTube, right? There's more to do, more I enjoy doing right now. I was just bored earlier because there wasn't much for me to do in Warframe, and I can only make so many Warframe build videos or guides without me getting bored, or, you know, things like that, because it's all like rehashed old content, right? But now we have new content. So once I spam out all my Warframe videos, all my Warframe guides, all my Warframe shenanigans in Duviri, we'll chill out again. I'm also playing Honkai Star Rail and a ton of other games because there's just so many games coming out this year. So that's why I'm going to try and get all my Duviri stuff out ASAP, and once we do that, we can chill with weekly incarnate weapons, regular Warframe update videos, and guides, right? So that is good to go. Now, the issues and bugs of the game are really what it's killing, right? Like, the issues and bugs of the Duviri Paradox is 100% what is killing the game. If you look on Steam right now, the Duviri Paradox, like Warframe, got review slammed because of the Duviri Paradox. And rightfully so, to be fair. A lot of players on launch, it was kind of unplayable. They'd get booted on games, right? Get host migration kicked. Ton of people are missing out, not getting resources, myself included. I think everyone's probably lost resources, whether they are aware of it or not, in the Duviri Paradox gameplay cycle, as long as you were playing multiplayer and public matches. It seems like this update gave a huge host of host migration connection issues, just all of the host migration and connection issues. and just resource tracking issues. There's just so many bugs right now. So if you want a more stable experience, play solo. And if you're on an older type console, you might want to play solo because, dude, old consoles just are not handling Duviri Paradox. People are complaining of like terrible, awful lag as well. So maybe if things are lagging up, if you have an older console or anything, go clean your console out. Just dust it, get some compressed air and spray it at your console because you could get much better performance if your console isn't overheating. So that's about all you can do on an older console, right? PC, you can always clean out some of that dust out of the air vents so it runs a little colder and runs a little better. But other than that, yeah, some of the old consoles are just struggling with Duviri from what a lot of chat has said. But you know, for other people, it's more stable. So you get what you get and hopefully it's working well. Luckily, Warframe is a free-to-play experience, so that's not too surprising, and they are fixing up a lot of bugs. I think Steel Path, the circuit, defense targets now scale better, and they just scale a little better in the circuit, so everything's slowly getting a little better and getting a little fixed up. It's usually how it goes with Warframe updates and game updates. I just really wish things weren't so messed up for the first week or two or even months of games these days. It's really depressing, the just general cycle of how games are sometimes nowadays. But hey, games are also more complex, weird, and Warframe has 10 years or so of development behind it, so code's black and everything's a little fucky wucky ooh woo. And you know what? It is what it is. My final general statements of it is, yeah, it's fun, but it's unstable. If you have stability issues or any like public matchmaking issues, play it solo if you've not been getting resources. It's a whole bunch of bugginess both visually and in the back end, so man, it's a mess. For me, it's a playable, functional mess, but for others, it isn't. So you're definitely good to test it out. You should be good to run the main quest and at least do things solo if you want to. So hey, it should be stable enough for you to do that, right? And that's always good. But other than that, it is a fun, chill update, and it'll probably bring a lot of people, myself included, back to Warframe, at least for a month or two at the minimum. But there's a ton of games coming out this year, so I think in June, I'm going to be busy with, Diablo 4 and Final Fantasy 16. So yeah, that's going to be pretty sick. I'm just going to be too busy with a bunch of games. I don't know if I'll even stream Final Fantasy 16, or if I'll play all of it off stream on my PlayStation, because I don't have a capture card, but I could go buy a capture card. Everything's a little weird like that, so hey. Hope this general review and chat about Duviri Experience helped. I'll throw in some handful of gameplay that I recorded while streaming off camera and all stuff like that, so I hope you appreciate it. The music in the background sounds great. All of the general Warframe shenanigans, you know, pretty great. I'm not mad, but it could be less buggy. I know a lot of people are saying they're quitting the game, and because of all the review bombs, right, it's like, oh shit, clearly they messed up. But yeah, sadly that's the regular Warframe experience, so for some people it's too much, for other people they don't mind it. It is what it is, and it could be way better, so take that what you will. If you want to support the channel, you can also hit that like button or subscribe down below to my YouTube channel. You can check me out on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm on everything, right? Because why wouldn't I be? Nothing better to do other than just be on every social media and go crazy over time. I also have an Epic Game Store creator code Pupsker, where if you buy Warframe, Genshin, Fortnite goodies and throw in my Epic Game code, even if you buy any games on there, I'll get a little kickback, and it helps support the channel so I can make more Warframe memes, shitposts, guides, opinion videos, you know, all of the above. So thank you all for being here. I'm going to go back to playing Duviri and some other games. For now, I'm happy I have some stuff to do and that it's a new experience. So I'm actually having a lot of fun. So thank you all, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.